Oop, I just jumped right back out of that. Okay, so here we are. Who's excited? Some hand claps, some hand raise. Woohoo! Exactly. We are now about to get to where it all comes together. And at the end of it, there is a prize. So there's a motivation. They call that the carrot and the stick. This is a carrot and not the CARAT kind of carrot, but close enough. So
Kim,
this,
I'm sorry, Kim, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to say there is someone that joined that says iPhone. Can you please just let me know who you are in the chat? Because I know I've seen that in a couple classes and I've tried to direct message, but I don't think it gets through. So let me know who you are and you're here, and that's it. All right, go ahead, Kim.
cool. All right. Thanks for joining iPhone. Woo-hoo. Now, this says if you can't explain it simply, you don't know it well enough. What does that mean? That means all that talk that we've been doing, introductions we've been doing, it is bringing that all down to this. Purpose of this session. We want to get you educated on the components of a pitch because this is probably not the last pitch you're going to do for your business. You probably will do other pitches, even if they're informal pitches at networking events, at other pitch events. You want to be able to get to where this is very routine. So you want to make sure your pitch is defined, or excuse me, we define an effective pitch as one that leads to outreach from an interested party, investors, we love investors, or partners, ones that can be converted to social media engagements because got to have that going and that engagement going on in your social media, and one that can yield sales. So even if it's just not a full-blown pitch, it could just be a sales conversation. You want to make sure you are very efficient in your introductions of who you are and what you do. Timing is going to be critical in this pitch. Critical. I can't say it enough. I'm going to say it one more time. Critical in this pitch. So if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're over, you're out. I added that extra one there. But the most important element is your time. We're giving you maybe 3 or 4 minutes to bring it all together. And your slides, we're going to give you the deck to be able to put the information into it, but really focus on getting your timing. That means recording what you're going to say. That means practicing what you're going to say. That means getting it all together and not all in 5 different places over the place. That means you want to make sure it is packaged as nice and tight as you can possibly get it, because the last thing you want to do is create this beautiful deck and then go over your time and then miss it on that. That's just tragic. So we said this again, can't explain it simply, you don't know it well enough. You go over, that means you really didn't have it down like you should. Practice, practice, practice. You want to make it succinct, tight, and clean, because that also conveys confidence that you know what you're talking about. We expect you to be the expert of your own business. So if you can't shimmy it down to what it needs to be, certainly we can't, because it's your business and you know it better than anybody. Here is the anatomy of the pitch. You don't want to make it sound like you're guessing anywhere in this pitch. You want you to think about it. You have people who are looking to invest in you, give you money and services, people who want to support you. So they want to make sure that you are solid in what you do and what you know about what you do. So these slides are giving you a guideline for where to put all this information that we've been gathering over these past 5 weeks. Slide 1 is your introduction. Slide 2 will be your problem. Slide 3, your solution. Slide 4, the market. 5 is competitors. 6 is your business model. 7, market sizing, and 8, the big ask. Ask with a K, fundraising and investments. Introduction. We've been practicing this. You've all been doing this. You have a format for it. You want to make sure it is strong, it is deliberate and memorable. This is your first impression. Make sure it counts. I really can't emphasize enough. This is your business. Nobody knows it better than you do, not one person. So make sure when you're giving that introduction, you're making it clear you know what you're talking about. So what we want to hear is where you're from, where you live and operate, what relevant work you have done, and if you have any experience and expertise in that line of business. That really can be one sentence. Now we're going to have an example later on in the presentation. I think I'll be able to show it, but if not, you'll be able to see it. And that's going to really give you some practice.
Kim, I'm sorry to interrupt. It looks like we may have a question. I see a hand up, the pink tub, Ms. B.
I don't see a hand.
Oh, you're mute. You're muted.
Hi, I'm sorry about that.
No,
Thank you. My name is Victoria. I'm the founder, creator extraordinaire of the Pink Tub. We're opulent, organic, handmade body and bath brand. My question is, you mentioned quality size of your audience. Like, I missed that step and I had a question about that. I think maybe you're gonna explain that, but I had a question about that.
Go ahead with your question.
My question was, what do you mean about market size?
We're going to break that down when we get down to that slide.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's it. I'm sorry. Thank
Okay,
you.
no problem. All right, so we've got the introduction covered. We know what we do. We know who we are. We know where we're from. Now we're getting to the problem. I also want to emphasize here, a problem sounds like a problem. If we say, what is your problem? And you say, I help people do something better, that's not a problem. What's their problem? You want to be very clear because you're going to be identifying some very specific information about that problem. And the problem really should be the foundation of your business. So that should be very, very clear. And it should sound like a problem. Who's impacted? What's happening to them? What is this problem doing to them? And why is it an issue? How did you discover that it was a problem? Is this something that you've experienced? Something very close, someone very close to you has experienced? You really want to illustrate for us where this problem came from and how it was decided that there was a problem. And then have you validated that problem? Is it just 2 people that have that problem? Is it just 10 people who are closest to you that have that problem? You want to remember when we go back to that canvas in the early days, a problem has to be big enough that it affects a lot of people and those people are willing to pay for it. So if you have questions, just drop them in the chat. I can't see hands, but I can see chats. Solution. How are you solving that problem? So now you've identified it. What's your solution to that problem? You have to solve the whole problem and not just part of that problem, but make sure that whatever your business is, that customer doesn't need to go anywhere else for that problem. So what is that solution? Very clearly, what is that solution? My product is whatever your product or service is that does whatever it does for whoever it does it for, and it accomplishes this. It's that simple. No need to go into a very long drawn out story because you literally have 3 to 4 minutes. I promise you, they go fast. So you don't want to make this a big production about the problem and the solution. They're important, but they're not your whole pitch. So really get down to quick brass tacks. What's the solution? Who's it for? And how is it a solution for them? You do want to talk about how you came to know that that solution will work for your target customer. How do you know that it solves their problem? Be very clear on that. So any questions? I'm just going to keep going until I see some. Market. We didn't get to talk a whole lot about this in the earlier classes, but you want to make sure that your market size is clearly identified. We're going to talk about a couple of these things that will sound a little obscure. I'm actually going to send you a graphic at the end that kind of gives it a little more clarity. But you have to know what the particulars are of the size of your market and how much room in the market there is for your business. Remember early on, we talked about you can't just be focused on your business. You also have to broaden your scope to your industry. What's going on in your industry? So this is again saying you need to know not just the people in front of you as a market, but what is the true size of your market? There's a couple of terms we're going to get into right here that will help you figure that out. How to calculate your total accessible market. That's called a TAM. And your total accessible market, I want you to think about if you sold leather purses. So your total available, accessible market is anyone who in the world who buys purses. So you're starting at that huge way out size. So you take the cost of your product or service, multiply it by all the people in the world who might buy a leather purse. Is everybody with me on that? Total accessible market, TAM. Anybody who might use your product or service. Then we will drop it down a little level to SAM. That's your serviceable accessible market. That is you identifying what piece of the pie you want to take advantage of in that whole big TAM, total accessible market. Using the leather purse example, you say that this is how many people in the world could buy my leather purse, but I'm going to only sell it to people in the United States. So that brings that market right down to this. Your SAM, serviceable, accessible market. This is who you've decided you want to service. Multiply the cost of that product or service by the total number of people in that United States market who might buy leather purses. Is everybody with me on that? Okay, and we're going to go down one more level to your SOM. And this brings it really down to the number of people that you can realistically sell those leather purses to. You want to bring it down and say, if I'm selling to the United States of people who might buy my leather purse, how many people can I realistically capture with my purse? So everybody got that? TAM, SAM, SOM. And I'll send it after this to give you a visual of how that breaks down. But that's what we're going to be looking for when you are pitching, how you're getting that information and putting that into your presentation. So your things you want to consider. How much money will impact your market size at all the levels? This gives an example. If you sell it on an e-commerce platform, your potential TAM customers can be the globe, like we talked about, all the people in the world who can buy your purse. If you only sell within your city, then your TAM is limited by how many people are in your city with that problem. So now we're taking it down to that in little view, that song that says, this is who I've decided I'm going to target, people in my city. Haven't lost anybody, have I? I'm looking, I don't see chats. I can't see hands, but I'm gonna go again. We're gonna dig into this. And tonight, this is one of those nights where if you have a question, just pop yourself off mute and get it in, because we are getting down to the wire. We wanna make sure you have all the information you need. No need to sit with questions. Just drop them right out here. We'll stop and work on it. Competitors. Now, when it comes to competitors, I can't even tell you the number of people who've told me that they have no competitors. Their business is so unique that there is no one else in the world that does what they do. I'm here to tell you they are wrong. There is not a business on this earth that doesn't have a competitor. And I want you to read this slide, because your competitor can easily be a lack of action. Think of it like this: your target customer has a problem. Someone else could be servicing them to solve that problem. Or they could just be like, suck it up, buttercup, and just keep the problem. Just deal with it and do nothing. That is a version of a competitor. When you think about your competitors, I want you to think about them like this. They're not just someone who does what you do. They are someone who does what you do for your target customer. So if you sell back to leather purses, if you sell handmade leather purses, then Louis Vuitton is not your competitor for a whole lot of reasons. But Louis Vuitton is not your competitor, because the customer who wants that handmade sort of rough sewn look is not someone who's going to go and spend $3,000 on a designer purse. So who's your competitor? Your direct competitor is who is servicing your target customer for what you do specifically. So you want to make sure you've identified who those competitors are, what is it that makes them a competitor, and what makes you better or different. And the only way you're going to know what makes you better or different is by knowing what they do. So you got to do some analysis. Who are my competitors? What are their strengths and weaknesses? Why do my customers go to them? Why would my customers leave them to come to me? How are they reaching their customers that I should be doing to reach those same customers? Those are things you really want to understand, and it's easier than you think to do that type of analysis, because if they have any kind of presence online, social media, websites, anything, Yelp, people will tell you who they are and what they do, because these are people who would normally shop with you. Take a listen, see what they're doing out there, see what the compliments are, and see what the complaints are. That's going to give you some direction about what you can do differently and or better. But when we get to this pitch, we're going to want to see that you've done the work to not only identify your competitors, but also tell us why they're the competitors and what makes you better. Business model. Really, when you think of a business model, it's how you plan to make money. What's that structure for you to have an actual business and not a job. I'll say it again. When you are the sole person in your company and everything depends on you, and I'd say more than 75% of your time is spent in delivering to the customer, you own a job, not a business. So what's your business model to turn that into an actual business? What's that structure? What are those revenue streams? What is your value ladder? What is the plan for you to do work on the business instead of in the business? And you're going to identify based on that structure, how much money are you going to be able to make? And this link is to the business model canvas that is, in my opinion, is for a much more advanced business than ours, these key relationships, and we'll send you that link when I send the other document. But you probably can take your canvas that we worked on in weeks 1 and 2 and really put all of this together, this information together. Target customers. You have to know who they are. You have to be laser focused on who those people are, almost to the point where, so they're walking down the street, you can look at someone and go, that's somebody that could be my target customer, based on what they're wearing, what they're driving, the shops they're coming out of, where they're living, all of that demographic and psychographic information that we talked about earlier. Think about that profile that I sent you probably in week 2 that has that persona. Who is that target customer? You have to know them intimately. Liz Claiborne has literally named her Liz Lady, and they build everything around Liz Lady. They know everything about her, how much she makes, what kind of degree she has, what kind of how many kids she has, where they spend their vacations. Some of you don't need that level of detail, but you will need all of you will need some level of detail about who your target customer is. You want to know age, gender. Does it matter whether they live urban or suburban? Does it matter if they have a degree or don't? Think about your business and what makes your customer come to you. Those are the factors you want to capture for your target customer. And then you want to talk about how you're going to reach them. What are those channels that you're going to use? Where do they find you and where do you find them?
There's a question in the chat, Kim. It says, when reviewing a list of competitors, what is a good radius to go by to review your target area? So far I have 5 radius, but it seems overwhelming data. Cortina, you want to come off of mute and maybe ask that question?
So far, I've used a 5-mile radius. My apologies. I was trying to type it fast, but listen, so I didn't want to mess up. So I did a 5-mile radius from a location, and the data is like overwhelming. So I'm trying to like narrow it down to search. So what would be a good radius to view competitors?
First, let me ask, what makes it overwhelming?
There was like 500 pages. She gave me like every list of DBAs with that 5-mile radius and sole proprietors, and it's like so much data that I don't know how to navigate through it to narrow it down and see which ones I could really focus on.
But do you consider every DBA within 5 miles to be your competitor?
Well, she did it based on, I would say no, because I mean, it's a big range. It was a big range.
Well, again, when we talk about your competitors, it is who is servicing your target customer with you, who does what you do for your target customer. So you should have already narrowed that down by only people who do what you do.
She did. She narrowed down to the 5 mile radius. That's where I'm like, how low do I need to go to make it even more smaller? She did it even what I consider indirect, like people that don't do services. She broke it down to people that don't even do my service to help me out. But I didn't know, like, should I just do half a mile and just start with those people to do the research more on?
Well, again, when we look at, there's two pieces to a competitor. So in that 5 mile radius, are you saying that there are hundreds of
Yeah,
businesses who do what you do for your target customer?
I would say the service, yes. But
Because
I would say the problem will probably be different. And the
that's
solution would be different because my solution would be different.
is
So like,
less about your solution and more about your customer. When I say that, I'm saying that you say your service is nails. So yes, if you did all the nail shops in a 5 mile radius, that'll be a lot. But what if it's only, if you're doing natural nails, that's gonna cut it down. If you're doing nail art, that's gonna cut it down. Because the customer who would come in for those specific services are probably not gonna go to any of those, just any of those 100 shops. There's only gonna be a few that they would select. Does that make sense?
yes and no. But what if they offer my service and their service? So like if, for an example, if it's a combination shop, they do hair, they a barber, and they do, I don't know, waist trainers. And there's so many, like a lot of these hair salons have all those services and provided right there for the customer. Then there's about 50 of them doing the same, or let's just say 100, like the 100. How would I narrow it down to just, do I only do it by that particular my service only, or do I focus on everything? Because that's where I'm getting is like, do I focus on 5 things they do outside of what I do? Like a lot of the places where like they hired someone to do that service.
What is
Or
your service?
lash extensions. So they've hired, like what they did, a lot of the girls over here, their focus may be hair, but they got someone in the back, they rented a space that does lashes now. Based
And
on
what is it that makes your lash extensions different?
I'll be mobile.
Already that cuts down your market, your competitors. Because if you're mobile, you're already saying, I'm reaching a different client, a client who wants something that's not, they don't want to have to go to the shop. They want something quick. They want something that meets them where they are. So they're probably going to be much more willing to spend more than they would at a lash or a nail salon that's going to take them in the back and spend $25 for their lashes. They're probably going to be willing to spend some more. So that already cuts your market down, your competitors down, because very few of them are mobile. So you got that? As you're thinking about, what do I do that my target customer would come to me for? That should help you look at these competitors and say they're not going to go to them because they can't get that level of service from them.
Okay, so now I have to figure out if all these, if they're actually mobile. Because even though they've got a salon, a lot of techs do go in homes and perform the service. It's been really hard trying to get the answer out of them. That's the thing.
Well, again, if you do mobile eyelashes, won't that be all over your social media? Won't it be all over your website? Because you want people to know that that's a feature for you. So that should have been your first search, is mobile eyelashes.
I did. Well, she couldn't figure it out. It was like I had to go through. So the only way I was figuring out was I had to actually go onto each one to figure out to see if they actually said it or called them. So that's what I've been doing.
What about just Google? Again, if they're doing mobile eyelashes, they're gonna make sure that that's part of everything that comes up. So if I search for a mobile eyelash tech, that should give you an idea of who your target customer, or excuse me, who your competitors are.
Okay. All right. I'll search it down to that. Thank you so much for your tip, because I didn't want to ask questions until the end.
That's all right. That's good. Because again, you want to make sure you understand, we're on this target customer slide. Understand who this person is and why they're coming to you. That is going to help you determine who's your competitor. Because that customer is not going to go to just anyone and everyone.
Okay. All right. So mobile.
Cor-
Class.
Cortina,
Yes.
I also just wanted to let you know, Elise put something in the chat. So she said, you can also filter by geography. So as Ms. Kim said, if you're Googling mobile eyelashes, maybe it's in Buffalo or whatever your, region you're looking in, that may help narrow it down as well.
Okay. I'm gonna text her back right now. Thank you so much, you guys.
No problem.
Welcome.
And we do have someone else with their hand up. Erica, do you want to come off mute and ask your question?
Yes, I just have a quick question. I just wanted to know, are we sending it like via slide, or is it gonna be like, how is the pitch? How are we gonna do the pitch? Is it gonna be like, um, are we gonna say it in words, or are we gonna send it like a slide, or?
It'll be both. You're going to be presenting the same way I'm presenting tonight. You'll have all your information on your slide and you're going to go through your presentation and talk about your business.
Oh, okay.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we're going to get to the next one. So this is a good one, because sometimes you have a business that has both a customer and a consumer. And the best way to think about that is if you were to have a product or service for children. Your children are your consumer. They're your end user. But they're not paying for your product or service because they have no money. But their parents are your customer. They're the people who are going to write the check, swipe the card. So if you have an end user or a consumer and a customer, you want to make sure you're clear about that and you address that in your presentation. Questions on that? Because now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
I do have a question on that.
Sure.
My name is Kayla Kelly Birch. I'm with Inspire. I help. Oh, I had that reworded perfectly. I'm sorry. Just a second. I have way too many notes. We help party planners with cakes and treats by delicious masterpieces that fit their theme. When you say that we need to address the end users and customers, how so? Because I have both. How do you want me to address that?
Just make sure you're clear when you're talking about your market size. You're talking about the parents. Your product or service is going to be talking about the children, or I should say your consumer is where you would focus your product or service. But when you talk about the customer, that's where your finances come in. So you make sure you're clear when you're talking about, here's what we do, here's the problem we solve, here's who it's for, our target customer. That's going to be your consumer. But when you're talking about spending that money and where your TAM and SAM, or yes, TAM, SAM, SOM, that's your customer, the one who's actually paying the money. So just make sure in your presentation, and it's, again, you've only got 3 to 4 minutes, so we're not asking you to really break it down into the smallest denominator. We just wanna see that you are clear that you have a customer and a consumer, and that your finances are addressing your customer, and your product or service is addressing your consumer.
Okay, but to be clear, sometimes in my business, they're not always separate. Like, I had an order this weekend that was for a baby shower. So the cake was still for the pregnant woman, and it still had to fit her specifications for her baby shower.
Mhm.
And then, like, sometimes it's for kids' parties, but the parents are still pretty precise on how they want the cake. So it still has to fit the theme for said baby, and the kid still wants to be pleased, but so does the parent.
Right. So again, in 3 to 4 minutes, you're not going into the specific baby shower versus children's birthday versus any other breakdown. What you are talking about is that in all cases, the parent is going to be the consumer, or excuse me, the customer. And then in some cases, the parent will also be the consumer, but primarily, if you have both, and that's your business, then you just want to say and address that you have. And again, this is only if your cakes, because you're a cake creator, art creator.
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't necessarily have that children's party as your sole revenue stream, correct?
Correct.
So you don't have to worry about it because that's not your primary or even your sole source of revenue and sole marketing to children.
Mm-mm.
You have all ages, all walks of life, all occasions. So you don't
Mhm.
even have to worry about this piece.
Okay. Okay.
It would be a business that has a clear children's focus, because then the parent would be the customer, the child would be the consumer.
Okay. This is just a sometimes thing. Okay. Got you. Thank you.
Sure. Here we are, asking for the ask. How much do you need? You've heard me say both during the class as well as office hours, your numbers are going to be critical. This is where we're talking about the numbers. We're going to be looking to see, do you have all of your numbers captured to be able to say, here's all the things that I spend my money on for the business. Here's how much money my business will, how much revenue my business will generate. And then here's how much I need from you to help me get there. So how much do you need? What are you going to do with it? But where are you right now? What do you have ready to spend for your business? And then how does this fill the gap? And that's detailed. It's not a broad, well, I'll spend it on running my business and hiring some employees and buying some inventory. It is a list. Here's what I'm going to buy. Here's the inventory I'm going to buy. Here's the staff I'm going to hire. And here's the revenue that that staff and inventory are going to generate once I'm able to buy that. So very, very specific. So any questions before I show this video or try to show this video?
I'll do another question.
Go ahead, Kayla.
Okay, so with this pitch, are you guys set on us starting up a full-fledged business. I already have something kind of going, and I want it to go further in the way that I already kind of have it going. Are you guys open to seeing how I have my stuff going and helping me run it the way I have it running, but getting it going bigger and not like going into like an actual building? Because I have consignments and I'm trying to get into more consignments, and I'm doing shows and I want to do more shows, and I was trying to get bigger. I didn't know exactly how you guys were wanting us to invest this money. And I didn't know with the pitch how direct you were wanting us to be with that.
So Kayla, so really, we're not expecting people to use the money for like a brick and mortar store as an example.
Right.
So that's perfectly fine. Some people are literally just starting their business, so they may use the funds for, as an example, the legal work to get their, their formation together. They may use it for some bookkeeping expenses, as an example, someone that, needs someone to get their stuff straight for them. Or they may use it as basically putting a deposit down on a lease, or I'm sorry, on like a physical space. So it's up to you how you want to use it. We're not really, I don't want to say we're not pressed on how you use the money. We just want to make sure that you really think about how you plan on using the money, and then, we can kind of assist with some of that stuff. But that's okay if you're not going into a brick and mortar. That's perfectly fine if you're just expanding in a different way.
Okay, so that's great, because I was wanting to because I've been teaching classes and doing shows, and I was wanting to continue and do more shows and
Right.
get out there more and get outsourcing more. So yes,
Right.
I have a vision, and I just was hoping it wasn't limited to getting right into a store, because
No,
I'm not quite ready.
No, and that's not going to fit for some of the folks on the call, right? That just may not be something that they want to do. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. Some of the people that are going to use, assuming they win the money, obviously, but some people may want to use it for marketing and advertising purposes, like you said, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to go
Yeah.
towards social media campaign, towards building a website, business cards, like those are all good things to use the money for, so that you can get that money coming into your business and then expand. So you're good.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're
I'm
welcome.
so excited about this.
And also, Kayla, I want you to think about the result of all that you just talked about. The shows, the videos, the consignment, the booth, I think you said. You want to be able to be clear, what revenue are these actions going to generate for you? Because this is not just, let me just go out here and do some things just to say I do some things. What are those actions going to get you? We talked way back at the beginning about a business mindset. That business owner mindset says, I am going to spend my time on revenue generating activities. That is a very specific term, revenue generating activities. That means all these things that I'm out here doing, I need to be able to tie them back to some dollars that are coming back into my business. So when you talk about all those things you want to do and all those things you're doing that you want to keep doing and you want to grow and scale, you also have to show, what is that going to return into your business? What's the ROI of that return on investment for that effort? And quantify that with some dollars that you can make connections to this activities that you're doing. Does that make sense? Is that a yes? And you
Yes.
just on mute?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yes. So make sure when you're pitching this that you're able to show that. Let me not do that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna play the video. This video is actually a sample that was provided of a 60-second pitch. Now, you have more than 60 seconds, but not a whole lot more. So you want to really listen for all these cues. We are going to provide you with this pitch deck, so you'll be able to actually put your information right on the slides that it corresponds to the different sections. But when you listen to this young lady, you're going to be able to hear how she covers a whole lot of ground in just 60 seconds. So I'm going to stop sharing that and start sharing this. And make sure I share sound. And do that and share. Is everybody able to see the YouTube? And I did that and can't see. Great. All right, so it's only 60 seconds. We can play it again, but it's only 60 seconds and it's quick. So take a listen.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Crow, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Gooder, a sustainable food waste management company leveraging technology to combat hunger. Our blockchain-enabled mobile and web apps allow our clients that include restaurants, hotels, schools, catering companies, and convention centers to redirect their surplus food to organizations that feed people that are food insecure. Gooder is solving the food logistics problem. Our technology automates and manages the surplus food supply chain process and allows businesses to track and account for their donations. Since our humble beginnings in January of this year, our clients now include Turner Broadcasting Systems, Andretti's Indoor Karting and Games, and the world's busiest airport right here in Atlanta, ATL. We've recovered over 75,000 pounds of prepared foods and saved our clients over $700,000. At Gooder, our mission is simple: feed more, waste less. And we don't just have a dream, we have a plan. I'm inviting you to join us and do Gooder. Thank you.
All right, so what did we think about that? Does anybody need to hear that again? It was just a minute, just 60 seconds, but she covered a whole lot of ground in there. See, yes, it was nice and superb. She covered a good deal of ground. She really let us know who her target market is, what it is they do, the problem they solve. And I'm sure if she had took another 2 or 3 minutes, she would get into the financials in terms of what that ask is and what that return on investment would be. But I will absolutely play it again. Let me get here and replay.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Crow, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Gooder, a sustainable food waste management company leveraging technology to combat hunger. Our blockchain-enabled mobile and web apps allow our clients that include restaurants, hotels, schools, catering companies, and convention centers to redirect their surplus food to organizations that feed people that are food insecure. Gooder is solving the food logistics problem. Our technology automates and manages the surplus food supply chain process and allows businesses to track and account for their donations. Since our humble beginnings in January of this year, our clients now include Turner Broadcasting Systems, Andretti's Indoor Karting and Games, and the world's busiest airport right here in Atlanta, ATL. We've recovered over 75,000 pounds of prepared foods and saved our clients over $700,000. At Gooder, our mission is simple: feed more, waste less. And we don't just have a dream, we have a plan. I'm inviting you to join us and do Gooder. Thank you.
So there. That is a very abbreviated version of what we're going to be looking for from you. What is your business? What is your problem?
Give me 15 seconds and I'll show you how to get featured in major media.
Turn that right on off
The
there.
Today Show and People Magazine, even if nobody knows
I
who you
sure
are.
thought
If
we
you're
were
skeptical,
done.
thinking, is this for real? I'll
It's
prove it
not
to you.
for real.
Every year in the United States, we waste more than
Okay,
30
stop, girl. All right, sorry about that. is still going on behind there. She has more to tell us, but we'll have to listen to her another time. I will send you the link to that video when I send you the other items so that you'll have all of that. But that gives you an example of someone who's giving you the quick and dirty, who we are, what we do, who we do it for. $700,000 that was saved, these thousands and thousands of pounds of food. That gives someone a very quick snapshot of what it is they want from them and what it is they can contribute to them. So when you're going through your pitch, you're going to want to be as confident as she is, as succinct as she was, but really it's going to be a little more meat on the bone because it's 3 to 4 minutes, but it's going to be more of, okay, here's where I am looking for your assistance. I would venture to say your beginning should be very much, that's right, Shamika, practice, because you're going to need to get that out like that. But I would say the beginning in terms of who you are, where you are, what you do, you can be quick, spend a little more time on your market, spend a lot more time on your target customer's problem and your solution, and then spend a little more time on at the end, that ask. What is that financial ask and what are you going to be doing with it? What do you need it for? How is it going to help you grow your business? So make sure when you're going through that and you're practicing, you're putting all that information together. If you have a little more information to give, those are the areas you want to hit and spend a little more time on. What's that, Kayla? Uh-huh. So does anybody have questions? Anybody want to put something on the table that we can listen to? Because we are going to do a run through. Maribel, you're going to have 3 to 4 minutes for each pitch. We're going to do a run through next Tuesday. So between now and next week, you're going to want to get all of those slides filled in. You want to do some run throughs, record yourself, practice, time yourself, and then we'll come back. When we come back next Tuesday, we'll do a run through. So Jahira is going to talk about how you sign up to pitch. But when you're doing that, once you're signed up, you will be doing a practice run next Tuesday.
I have a question. Is the whole presentation pitch 3 to 4 minutes?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
No worries. So I am, hold on 1 second, Shamika. I will get to your question just a second. So here is the link in the chat. If you plan on participating in the chat, you plan on participating in the pitch competition. That's what I meant to say. Please go to the link. You can do it now, or you can do it in a day or so. But we need to know ahead of time, because whoever is planning to participate, Tuesday is basically going to be your test run. So based on how your pitch comes out on Tuesday, I don't want to say it needs to be perfect, but it needs to be close to what's going to happen the actual day of. That's when we're going to decide who's going to move on to the actual pitch competition. So, like Kim said, you're going to receive the slides so you can work on that. Please take advantage of Thursday office hours with Miss Kim. That's going to be a good opportunity for you to go ahead and do your pitch with her. She's awesome at giving feedback on things that you can do to make your pitch better. My biggest recommendation is to record yourselves, whether it's on your phone or laptop, computer, whatever you have, your baby's, iPad, whatever. Record yourself, take a look at it, do it again, see how you can refine those things so it'll kind of just flow out easily. Yes, please do that because you'll see the difference and you'll see what kind of mannerisms you have, right? I tend to talk a lot with my hands. That's just what I do. Some people like it, some people don't, right? But you want to make sure that you're engaging because it's not just about getting the words that are on the slide to come out of your mouth. You want to make sure that basically like you're selling your business to the people that are present. So make it as believable as possible. Yeah, that's it. Let me see if there's any questions in here. So there are 3 different cash prizes. 5,000 is the largest amount. One person so it's going to be 3 separate people receiving cash prizes. And let's see, Ashley says, so we have to have all our pitch info ready by next Tuesday to present to be eligible to move on. Yes. So everything needs to be ready. You will basically do your pitch on Tuesday and then we'll go from there and decide who's going to make it to the last round. And yes, we are sending out the PowerPoint template tonight, correct?
Yes.
If you missed a class, you can't pitch. No, I mean, there are people that have missed a class. That's okay. If you're here today, you are eligible to pitch. If you are not here today, you are not eligible to pitch, but obviously they won't hear that, right? So yeah, so you're eligible. Let me see if there are any other questions in here. Okay, nothing yet. And Cortina, I see your hand up. And I believe Shamika, you had a question.
Yes, I had a question because, oh wait, I forgot to introduce myself. Hold up. Okay, I'm Shamika Murray, doing business as a healthcare provider, home health aide, and a hairstylist, and I also do volunteer work. So, my question I was gonna ask, because being that some of the things I do already is voluntarily, and I was just wondering because okay, let me make sure I say it right. I was just wondering, I know you was talking about competitors and everything earlier, but I know like some people or like, I know we got, well, hold on, slow down. See, this is how I get nervous. Anyway, I was just wondering like how you say collaborations with other people that's, cause some gonna win and some ain't gonna win. But as far as collaborating, like I said, I got 3 professions. So I was just wondering, and then, as far as the hiring process, are we able to do that amongst each other? I don't know. I was just wondering, because I was thinking about the young lady earlier, when she was talking about the salon thing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, sometimes the business could be better, improve, more network with more other people together, working together. I was just wondering.
Yeah, so if I'm understanding your question correctly, as far as like any ladies on the call collaborating with each other, is that where you're going, Shamika?
Right. Like if somebody say, hey, I like the way they pitched, and hey, I'm gonna want to work with them. Maybe we can collaborate our businesses, make it more bigger than what it is, because
Yeah.
like you said earlier, you mentioned legal fees, some people starting, some people in the middle, somebody, some people already there. But at the end of the day, people still need help. I was just wondering, I mean, I know some people work with some people and some people don't, but I just wonder if it's possible about collaborations, because I see that all the time on social media,
Yeah,
and that's a big thing.
as far as collaborate, so I'll say this. Everyone on the call is obviously open and I shouldn't say open, but welcome to collaborating with each other outside of the pitch competition, right? That's just doing business, right? Like how can you maybe combine some services, expand your business, work together? Like that's a huge part of being a business owner. That being said, that would be something that you would have to communicate with said business owner outside of this particular course. The pitch competition itself is specifically like each business on its own. It's not like, you guys are coming together and doing a pitch competition together. So does that clarify that, Shamika?
No, I got you, because like you said, it's the competition. But I was thinking about after the competition, because we meet another week. So
right. I
was
mean,
just wondering,
Yeah, no, that's why when we start the classes, that's usually why I tell people to put their name, the name of the business, contact information, what you do, because you may find that you may want to collaborate with another business owner. You may find that, you know, you love somebody doing lashes and you need your lashes done. So reach out to Cortina or whatever the case is, right? You know, you love cakes. You got to reach out to Kayla if you in her area. So that's definitely the purpose of asking people to put that information in the chat, aside from obviously attendance. But again, you may find that, like I said, these are your potential business partners, potential customers. Like that's a good thing to just do. So yeah, feel free to collaborate after this. I hope you all do. But the pinch competition itself is just specifically for each business owner. All right, Cortina, I see your hand up, and Chanel, I see you have your hand up as well. So we'll go to Cortina first. Oh, I see you in the
Can
car.
you come back? I forgot my question. You go ahead, I'll come back.
All right, we'll go to Chanel. Chanel, your question?
Oh, okay, trying to get off of mute.
No worries.
Okay, so I'm Chanel Sabato. I am owner and operator of Glow Spa Rock, which is a full service luxury spa. My question is, the WHO. The WHO is anyone who suffers from hyperpigmentation or problematic skin, or my hardworking individuals who just need some time to like woosah. But my question is, with the presentation, can we use slides?
You 100% will need slides.
Okay.
Yes. So,
Okay.
not a rule of thumb, but the idea is, don't pack your slides. And I'm sure when you guys meet with Kim on Thursday, she'll also tell you this, but, don't put the kitchen sink right in each slide. You want it to be nice and clean, to the point, you know, and you don't want to like read word for word kind of what's on the slide. So there's just quick information that they're going to see on the slide, but you're going to be able to elaborate a little bit more. But again, keep in mind, you know, you only have 3 to 4 minutes to do the entire pitch. But yes, you will need slides to participate in the pitch competition.
Okay, and then what format? Should it be PowerPoint, or would it just be something that we have set on our phone, like pictures? Are we going to be able to share the screen?
You will be able to share your screen. You can do PowerPoint if you just PDF, you know, whatever program you're using, as long as you can save it like a PDF, that's perfectly fine. But yes, everyone will have the capability to share their screen, because that's the idea. You want everybody to see your presentation.
Okay. All right. That was it for me. Thank you. Sorry.
No, you're fine. All right. Let's go back to Cortina and see. Did you remember your question, Cortina?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So my question, one moment, sir. Look, I'm doing 2 things at once. My question is this: for projected startup businesses, for those that do not have a business and they're starting up, and we're talking to our investors and funders regarding how much money do we need, can that be greater than the amount that you guys are giving us?
Yeah.
Or the price? I just want to make sure that we're not, because like when you guys were saying you want details and make lists, you know, I want to make sure that I don't have to stay tightly in the taller amount. So
Yeah,
that was my question.
That's a good question. And yes, if you, in your plan of what you really want to happen with your business, you know, let's say in the next 2 years, you're thinking like you need $20,000, then you ask for the $20,000, right? Because you're only going to get what you ask for, not necessarily from us. I'll put that out there. But you know, we got up to 5,000 for you, but it's a good exercise, because maybe you win, right? Maybe you get 5,000 from us. Now you need to find where you're going to get the other 15,000 from, and you've already practiced that pitch. So yes, please ask for what you need. Do not be shy about it. Be realistic about it. I'll just say that.
But I would also add, Cortina, it would be good if you were to show what that $5,000 is gonna do for you. So you need 20,000, but what is that 5,000 gonna do to be able to show the impact of that money on your business?
Does that answer your question, Cortina?
She's
You're on mute, but I'm gonna assume that that did. All right, so we will go.
Yes, ma'am. I do
Oh.
have one more question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cortina.
It's in regards to research. When we're doing research and we're asking for the population of our target audience, the question that she asked me is, do I want to look for average or median? She broke it down to me what made sense to me, the librarian, but I want to make sure that before I go into details with the numbers, should I focus on which average? For an example, would I focus on the median income or the average income? For an example, because that's where I got confusion as far as how to simplify it and make it make sense, if that makes sense.
I would say to you that if you're just starting or you haven't even started yet,
Yes, ma'am.
don't get too wrapped up in the weeds. So that median versus average income isn't going to be that big of a difference for your business, because your income is just one data point for your target customer. And honestly, you really want to, the delta between those two numbers isn't going to grow or shrink your target customer or your target audience by that much. So don't let that be a stumbling point. Don't let that be an obstacle.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, keep it simple.
Okay.
All right, I just put myself on mute. Kayla, go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, you said earlier that you were gonna provide template slides for us to go off of. Are we limited to those template slides when we present?
No, there are gonna be 2 sets of slides. So it's gonna be just something very simple that looks like the slides that you've seen kind of throughout this course. Then there's another example of a pitch deck that we'll be sending off to you, just a different business, but really feel free to decorate however you feel fit.
I'm all about pretty.
Yeah, feel free. I mean, it's your business, right? So you tailor it to what your brand is, what your business is, so that people can get the full effect of what's happening, right? You have cakes, so I don't know, sprinkles, icing, whatever works for you, pictures. Feel free to go as simple or as elaborate as you want. The most important information are those pieces of info that Kim went through in today's presentation.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, anyone else?
Well, Sharice had a question. She asked, do we have to put the profit and loss on a slide for the presentation? You don't have to do that, but you do want to show, again, what your business is generating, what your costs are, what your revenue is, and then what the ask is for that money. What is that money going to do for you? So you have to be very clear and very specific about what your numbers are. And I see Kiara has a hand up.
Yes. You can come up.
Yes. But Miss Lakita had a question first in the chat.
Thank you, Kara. So Lakita says, are we going to present as well as send the presentation to you so that it can be looked at during your picking process? You can blah, blah. Let me try this again. You can send us your presentation, but we'll go ahead and record the session, kind of how we do with all of the other ones. So if you send it or you don't send it, that's okay. We will still have some kind of visual of what's happening. So yeah, you're okay either way, Lakita. Feel free to send it if you'd like. If not, that's okay.
And I also want to address,
I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
me.
Oh,
Lakita.
okay. Go ahead, Lakita.
I'm sorry. I also wanted to ask, forget it. Now I forgot. So
Happens
much stuff
all
going
the
on in my
time.
mind at one time. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Let us know when you remember. Go
It'll
ahead.
come back. Thank you.
yes.
No worries.
And Tamar had asked, how do we share our screen for the PowerPoint from our phones? That might be a little different because first of all, I want to talk a little bit of technical. PowerPoint is a paid application. So you have to, it's part of the Microsoft suite, Microsoft Office suite. So not everybody will have Microsoft Office. You can use Canva, you can use Google Slides, Think Beautiful.ai is another presentation program that has a free version. Whatever presentation format you need to use for this presentation, for this pitch, feel free to use that. Now, when it comes to running it from your phone, that can be a little tricky. I don't think I've shared from my phone before, and there's a lag. There can be a lag between what you're talking about and the slide that we're seeing. So I would venture to say if there's any way you can get near a computer, even if it's in the library, that would be your best bet. You're talking 3 to 4 minutes, so you don't have to be on there for very long. But if that's possible, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'll add to that worst case scenario. If you need to send it to me so that I can present it for you and then you can, do the presentation, we can do that as well. The only reason I say use that as your last option is because you are limited with time. You only have 3 to 4 minutes. I don't know what's going to be happening as far as like when you're doing your pitch. So in the time it takes you to say next slide, like you're losing a couple seconds. And when you only have 3 to 4 minutes, that will chop down some of your time. So again, last minute scenario, please feel free to send it over. If not, definitely see if you can borrow, again, go to a friend's house, maybe library, see if you can borrow somebody's computer, laptop, some type of situation, but reach out if you don't have any other options. Okay, Kira, I did see some questions in the chat, Cortina, and Lakita. So, but we'll go to Kira first.
Yes, I think you pretty much answered my question. Like, will you be presenting it for us, or we'll have to like scroll at the same time talking? But I know for me, I don't know. I just gotta I guess I have to practice, right? Clicking and saying. So
Right.
You answered my question. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah, definitely practice. I mean, it's not just the presentation part, but like you said, right, going through the slides, your arrow keys are your friends when you're going through slides, that way you don't have to find where you need to click and stuff like that. But again, like those are little things that you're going to want to work through to make sure that the day of presentation, you're relaxed, you're really, you're getting out the information that you need to get out without worrying about, oh my God, I can't share my screen, something's happening, because that will throw you off. All right, let's see. We have, okay, Ashley, thank you for providing that information in the chat about Canva. Do you know that? Labs checking Canva, okay. And Elise also, okay. Yeah, Canva, good option as well. All right, menu tools, I've not done PowerPoint. Kayla, okay, I have not done PowerPoint presentation on virtual before. I'm not sure how to do both at the same time. There is like presentation mode if you're doing PowerPoint, or if it's like basically a PDF. There is a way, like I said, if you at least on my laptop, typically if you press the arrow keys, it'll just go to the next slide instead of like tick, 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 you know, scrolling through. So try that out. Let me see.
And practice with that. Just when
Yes.
you're going through your pitch, practice all of that. Practice the advancing the slide. Practice going back. If somebody says, hey, I got a question on slide 3 and you're on slide 7, practice how to do that in your pitch.
I
Because
know how to do the presentation mode. I'm just not sure how to connect to you guys on the
So
video and do the presentation mode.
gotcha. So we'll do, basically what happens is I will give you like co-host access. So it's the same thing that happens when Kim is doing the presentation, right? I give her co-host access. She then has access on her end to share either like basically share one of her screens, or there's a, you know, there's like a specific screen that she can share. So that's how that would work.
So you can minimize it down and access it.
Yeah, there's an option. It'll give you an option like once I let me rewind. Down in the, do you see your menu options on Zoom right now? There should be something that says share screen. It might be green on your end.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kayla, you're on your phone right now, right?
My tablet.
Oh, okay, your tablet. All right. So that green button that says share screen, typically what would happen is you would click that and then it would ask basically like which screen do you want to share? And so then at that point, that's where you click wherever your presentation is, and then it'll share that.
Oh
So
gosh.
that would work.
Our old people, I don't know if you've noticed with my emails, but our old people.
No, no worries.
I put it out like every assignment in hard copy.
Whatever works for you. It's okay.
It does. It does.
All right, Lakita, are we pitching in front of everyone? Yes, we are. Yep, it's gonna be in front of an audience. So if you have kids, people in the neighborhood, you want to pitch in front of them to get rid of like the jitters, then I would recommend to do that. Let's see. What else? Someone else. So someone did ask, thank you, Ashley. Someone did ask about who the judges were. So one of the judges will actually be our executive director from here, from Pastone. His name is Javier Zapata, no relation. And then we are going to have some judges from Citizens Bank joining us. So there's going to be 3, possibly 4 judges. Actually, and Kim is going to be a judge as well. I'm sorry. So it should be 4 unless someone from Citizens Bank cannot attend. So 3 to 4 judges. That's who they're going to be. Microsoft. Okay. All right. Did I miss anybody or hands up or anything? Any additional questions? Is there a point system? Yes, there is a point system. And we'll kind of go over that stuff on Tuesday. So right now, really all you need to worry about is practicing your pitch, making sure that you are within your time frame of 3 to 4 minutes. That's just focus on that. Don't worry about the points right now, because that's just going to screw you up. How many finalists will there be for the pitch? That is a good question, Mildred. We don't know yet, because it depends on who's going to participate and who moves on to the next round, basically. So that's why I say make sure that from now until Tuesday, you practice. Please use Thursday to go over everything that you need with Kim. She's going to give you amazing feedback to see how you can improve your pitch. And if you have any questions, you're not sure about what's going to go in that pitch, that is an ideal time to work out those kinks before you do your pitch on Tuesday. There are rounds. Wait, how does that work? Yes, there are rounds. So when I say rounds, I mean Tuesday, is going to be your essentially round one, right? Round one, you just pretend like that's the end all be all on Tuesday. So you got to come ready. That's what you're going to do on Tuesday. Based on your pitch on Tuesday, basically we will then reach out to everyone by Wednesday end of day, letting you know if you've made it to the final round. Yes, Jesus, take the wheel. You have this. You just need to make sure that you practice, and trust me, you will be okay. Okay, Kara, you have a question.
Yeah, last one, I promise. A
No,
question.
you're fine.
But regardless whether we move on to the next round or go, don't make it or whatever, regardless what happened, would there be an opportunity for you guys to sort of let us know, like a summary, like what we can work on, or what word did we miss at where we couldn't reach that point? So would it be like a summarized, whether it be personal or sent via email afterwards?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, the last thing we want you to do is just leave and be confused about what happened, right? Like that's not what we're in the business for. So we definitely will follow up with you, let you know. Again, maybe there are some things that we can tell that haven't quite been situated within your business. Maybe there's some more research that you need to do to understand your target market better. Whatever the case is, we will follow up with you and let you know. Miss Victoria, you have your hand up.
I have a question, but then I also have a suggestion. If anyone lives in the Indianapolis area or the Indiana area, I have an office and you can come and use my computer, and I also have a laptop. So if you're in the area, you can definitely come and utilize that. I have no problem with that. And then my question is, I forgot my question. Okay, no, my question is, so you mentioned rounds. How many how many rounds are there? And will you tell who the winners are at the end as the finalists? Would you tell them that day? Or is it another day that we're going?
So thank you, as the ladies mentioned. So thank you for offering your space. That is very generous. Greatly appreciated. As far as the rounds, so round one will be Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we'll reach out to everyone and let them know if they've made it to round two, which will be the following Tuesday after that. And that day, that's like, that's the end. Like you will know by the end of that session if you won the money or not. So it won't be a surprise. Everyone is welcome to join, whether they decided they wanted to participate in the pitch competition or not. Everyone is welcome to join and see the show. That's why we're calling it a show. Does that answer your question? Okay. All right. Did we miss anyone else? These are great questions, by the way, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, I see Elise. Okay, go ahead, Elise.
Oh, wait, you mentioned earlier that it was information to be provided later. I was going to ask, like, what are you scoring for? A lot of funders prefer a certain type of spending, like they want it to be operational or they don't want it to be operational, things like that. But you said those points will be presented to us at a later date.
Yes, you will get presentation slides that you can use, or just you can use, like literally use them, take your information and input that into the slides, or you can just use them as like a foundation to know what information goes there, and feel free to create, your slides however you see fit. As far as the money, like what you would use the money for, that's open, right? To whatever you feel you really need for your business. So whether it's the 5,000 or 20,000, but to Kim's point, either way, at least indicate what the 5,000 would do for your business. Does that answer? Okay, all right. Okay, Cortina, I see you have a hand up. Go ahead. We are here for questions.
Hey, I don't know if it's a silly question. I'm not tech savvy.
No, that's okay.
sure that, because I have a Mac laptop, I misspoke, a laptop, and I have yet to be able to watch a Zoom on it. I've been using my cell phone.
Okay.
So question is, because I'm not tech savvy, will I be able to Zoom and do the Zoom and one of those apps that the girls have been mentioning? I'm assuming those are apps that we can do our present that they're referring to.
You cut out a little bit, but what I could get was about apps. So if it's Canva and some of the other ones that were being mentioned, if you're using the laptop, or you said laptop or like a desktop computer?
I have a laptop.
Okay.
So my question is, are we able to still be on Zoom with you guys and use one of those platforms
Yes.
in order to share? Because I'm not tech savvy, so I don't know if those options that you guys are referring to could be downloadable to the laptop. Like you were saying, guys can't see us using our phone to do our presentation, so it has to kind of sort of be on some kind of desktop or
Yeah.
laptops. I want to make sure.
So yes, you can definitely use and it's not the same as like a phone in the sense of like you have to have an application. Basically it's just a different browser open. So
Okay.
you can use that and use Zoom. That's perfectly fine. Because you have an Apple laptop, I would recommend going to the Apple store in the Galleria. You're in Buffalo, right, Cortina?
No, I'm not, but I can get there.
All right. Wherever you are, if it's not Buffalo, that's okay. I would suggest going to the Apple store and just have them give you a tour of how to use your laptop and tell them, I need to be on Zoom and I need to be able to show a presentation. School me on
Okay.
how to do this, and they will do that. That's what they're there for.
Oh, okay. Apple Store.
Mhm.
Go. Okay. I think I know where there is one located closer, but I
Okay.
want to make sure.
Yeah, that or anyone that's familiar with using Mac products. I personally prefer Mac products. That's what I'm using. So I know my way around it, but I don't feel as comfortable with PCs sometimes. So that's why I say anybody that's familiar with a Mac, just ask them to show you how to use it and you'll be okay.
Okay.
And I would
And-
also recommend, Cortina, use YouTube University. That
Mhm.
is a great starting point. You have a phone, so you can have your phone running the video right next to your computer. I would also highly recommend that you start that journey right now. Right now. Because you don't want to get right now. You don't want to get to pitch time and then try to figure out, because once the clock starts and it doesn't stop for technical difficulties.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
Cortina, just so you know, there's some info in the chat. Some ladies mentioned. So Maribel, she said you can contact her and send her an email. She can help you.
Okay.
Let me see, Kiera as well. So yeah, so you have ladies in the chat that are willing to help you as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you. I can help you other ways. We can chat later.
All right. Anybody else? Did we miss anybody? Going once, going twice? No? Okay, I think we got through all the questions. Cortina Victoria said she can help you as well. So see, this is how this happens. So ladies, thank you for your time. You get almost an entire hour back of your day. Use that time very wisely. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Definitely go over the pitch. Like I mentioned, I'll send the recorded video to you by tomorrow noon. And then Kim, she's gonna send out the pitch slides. Oh, I think somebody has a question. Oh, sorry. Who has a question? I heard a voice, but I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either, but I did hear
Oh, well, at least I know I'm not going crazy.
it.
All right. I don't know who it was. Okay. All right. we're gonna leave it at that then. So you will get the slides from Kim today or tomorrow. Again, feel free to decorate. You do your slides however you feel free, but we just wanted to provide you with something just in case, like that's just one last thing you have to worry about. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Please take advantage of this Thursday with Kim. That's a great opportunity to run through your pitch and get feedback as to how you can make it better. I cannot emphasize this much. That was not proper English. I can't emphasize this enough is what I meant to say. I'm more working on things here. Please record yourselves when you're doing your pitch competition. Look at the video. I know it's awkward, I get it, but it's really gonna give you an idea of what your public is seeing, and if you look engaged in your pitch. So do it, record it, play it back, do it again. You cannot do it enough times. Trust me, like it's really good practice. All right, there goes the hand. I'm like, I know I heard somebody. But that's all I have to say. And then Shamika, I know you have a question.
Yes, I was wondering, what if somebody can't afford an Apple? What's the next best computer? Because I don't know. I'm not really into the computer thing, but I guess I might have to. Somebody put HP in the chat. I think I don't. I'm not sure. Like once I'm able to get my computer. Like what could I get? What's the next substitution besides I with Apple?
That's definitely a tech question, and that's based on what your needs are. It could be Apple, it could be HP, but it really depends on how expansive your needs are. Look at the specs of the computers that you're looking at. You may just need a laptop, you may not need a desktop, maybe you just need a tablet. So as you're looking through the information, I'm sorry. Shamika, I see you. I don't hear you.
I think she keep breaking up. She's probably the one that coming in and out.
Okay. All right. Well, again, reach out if you have any questions, and enjoy the rest of your night, ladies. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. Kayla, I see your hand.
Yeah. Okay, so just to be clear, we got 2 rounds of presentations, correct?
Yes and no. One round. So round 1 is Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. That's gonna indicate whether you're gonna make it to the final round.
Right. And then on that round, we'll find out like the point system more of.
Next Tuesday is when we'll talk about that.
Right. So then we'll find out like if we get knocked off more, if we run over and.
Well, so the goal is to make sure that you, on this Tuesday coming, that you stay within your 3 to 4 minutes, and that you just go through like the presentation that Kim did today. That on that day, sorry, let me rewind. On Thursday, which is in 2 days, essentially be ready to do your pitch competition with Kim, right? Because at that point, she's going to give you feedback if there's like maybe some information you missed in your pitch. Okay. Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, that's going to be round 1 of the pitch competition for everyone. That day is where we're going to say, okay, do you qualify to make it to the final round or no? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
But then on that day, will y'all give us the better point breakdown so we can then better do our presentation for the next week? So we make sure it's even better for the next round.
So this is the thing, we're going to talk about points on Tuesday. However, that day, you just have to think of it as like, that's your final chance, right?
Oh, we don't pitch again. So we don't pitch again?
Mm-mm.
Ooh.
You don't pitch again after the 7th.
Correct.
The 7th is the money pitch. The
Okay.
30th is the practice pitch.
Okay.
On the 30th, when you do that practice pitch, that determines whether you go forward to the money pitch.
Okay.
And when we talk about the point system and the practice, that's really internal. You know, we'll share some information on that. But you want to make sure that you listen to the actual feedback, not necessarily the points, the numbers, it's the actual feedback, whereas you need to include this. We didn't see enough of that. This isn't specific enough. So that's really has nothing to do with points. Don't be distracted by the points. Pay
Got you.
attention to the feedback, go back to the lab, rework that presentation, come back for the money pitch, ready to win.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, thank
Kim. See, this is why Kim does the presentations. She could get it out much better than I can.
Oh, y'all work well together. Give yourself a clap.
Miss Victoria, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, this question is for Auntie Kim. How I've not taken advantage of being on Thursdays. How does that work? Are you just on for those hours, your office hours, and we just come on Zoom and talk to you, or do we set it the time?
It's
Do you
no
just come on?
I'm 5:30. I turn the light on. 8
Okay.
o'clock, I turn the light off. Everything that happens in between there is all support and love.
Okay,
Come
got
in.
it.
You want to come in and pitch, that's pretty much going to be a first come, first serve. As you come in, we'll start working immediately on those pitches and get every question, every piece of feedback. Because it is so important this Thursday, I'll be on until everybody has pitched.
Ooh,
Everybody
thank
has
you.
information. So if that's late, it's late, but we're going to get it in and get it done.
You're awesome.
You're awesome, Auntie Kim. I feel bad calling you Auntie Kim, but I'm 53, and I'm
Auntie
sure you're
Kim,
probably
drop
a
your
little bit
address
younger
in
than
the
me.
chat so we can send you a gift.
No. My gift is going to be everybody standing up and giving those rock solid presentations. So much so that we're going to be just like, man, how do we only give it away to 3 people? That's what we want.
Exactly. All right, ladies. Last go around. Any questions before we jump off this call? Going once, going twice. All right. We are looking forward to seeing your pitches on Tuesday, ladies. Have a great night. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.